we need to talk about BiSH's new song. I mean, we really need to talk about BiSH's new song, which, if I'm to believe YouTube, is just called Pure. Now, just to set the scene, first of all, you might know if you've been following this channel for a little while, the last video I did discussing their music was one where I was talking more about the fact that of recent, the band who had really come to be one that I loved because of the fact that every time you press play you had no idea what you were going to get next, had started to feel predictable. There was a growing reliance on Kentacore in the sound. And you know, I felt kind of sad recording that, and I think I expressed in the video how much I was really hoping that in the band's final times before they do eventually break up, it seems, that they would do something that really marked that sort of creative flair that is so much a part of who they are, at least in my opinion. And yeah, I know this song was probably in production before I recorded that video, but oh boy does it feel like they answered my cries. From the get-go, Pure kicks into gear with much more of a sort of hardcore, thumping, charging rock sound. It's not to say we haven't heard this before from them, it's just it's been relatively scarce of recent in BiSH's singles. This really comes on hard, but usually where they rely on more of a punk sound, which again I'm a big fan of punk, but it's something that they've done a few times before, this kind of has a little bit of a strange feel. It's riffing a lot like it's some kind of thrash metal, and the guitar's done in this sort of tinny mid-range sound, which is, you know, maybe not the heaviest thing, but it gives a lot of room for the impact of the drums. It allows everything to come through clearly. So again, you've got that quality of it having a lot of real rock energy, but also giving you the clarity to hear everything else, hear the vocals, which is so important obviously because all of them, once again, are contributing vocals in this song and contributing them with a brilliant sense of individuality. But the joy's not over there, because just when you think you've started to figure out this song and you're thinking, cool, another BiSH rocking song, they throw a curveball about a minute through and deliver one of the most poppy choruses I've ever heard from them, and probably the catchiest chorus I've ever heard from them. It really sticks in your head. And what I liked about this is they go to an almost twee, sort of cute poppy place, but without losing themselves. They still manage to, once again, through that vocal personality, which is really well mirrored in the video, they managed to keep it from being too twee. They managed to keep it kind of edgy at the same time. BiSH are a band who can be genuinely intense, but can also be genuinely fun at the same time, and what really grabbed me is how this song manages to capture both sides of the band so well. Now, the music also helps in that there are certain things that are carried over from one part to the other, from the rocky part to the poppy part. When they go into the pop bit, although it is very pop in the chorus, for example, you hear that the drums keep on sounding not so synthetic. You still get that live drum feel in the chorus, which means it's not too much of a jarring shift. Also, as previously mentioned, the fact that the guitar's got a little bit of thinness to it to give room for the other sounds to come through means that when we go back and forth between that rocking verse and the poppy chorus, you also don't get the feel that you're too jarred by the presence of the guitar. It sort of slips in nicely while still having that rock impact. Now, you could safely argue that the song doesn't do anything hugely clever, and it doesn't do much more than what I mentioned there. I mean, for example, the bridge is little more than a third verse in a way, and, you know, okay, so the last chorus starts with a bit of a breakdown, which is really nice. I like how they do that. I know that it's a Japanese pop stereotype, start the last chorus with a breakdown where things all fall away and then come back in. However, it just works here nicely as a simple technique to give that last chorus its final build-up to crescendoing the song. However, you know, although it doesn't do anything hugely clever beyond what I've mentioned, what it does is so wonderfully encapsulating of what BiSH are as a band, and it does it so well that it doesn't really need to do anything more. It just masters the basics. It manages to surprise you. It manages to be ultra catchy. It manages to feel like it's really rocking. It just manages to do everything it is doing perfectly. So to me, there's little more to say. I mean, this song is an utter joy. It's exactly what I wanted. I couldn't have been happier. The video is such a beautiful representation as well. It's simple and it just encapsulates the band's energy, the band's fun. I absolutely love this. And to me, it is exactly what BiSH needed. It is BiSH. It's quintessential BiSH because it surprised you from the very first press of play, but then managed to do it again halfway through. I mean, it was quintessential BiSH because it was both crazy and coherent at the same time. It was quintessential BiSH because every member had something to do in the song. It was quintessential BiSH because it mastered a new sound on the first try. It was quintessential BiSH because of the fact that it was catchy as hell. And it was quintessential BiSH because of the fact that it rocked so hard. I mean, to be honest, it does deliver so many of the things that are quintessentially BiSH so well, whilst also being unexpected in the way it was delivered, that this probably is the most BiSH song BiSH have ever BiSH'd. I know it's not going to necessarily be to everyone's liking. Everyone has different things that they like from this band, and when you've got a group who do so many different things, I can understand that, you know, one song could be for half your fan base, another song for a totally different half of the same fan base who's like the same band. But for me, if you're going to bring everything together that they do, this is the perfect way to do it. Anyway, those are my thoughts on this. I think it's an amazing song, like I say. I hope you've enjoyed my reasoning. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say in the comments, and until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these, for now, ciao ciao.